Hey guys, it's Pickles. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over the history of a very recent grinder slash competitor, Legend. This is going to be the same as all my other history videos, where I just read the script. Also, if you want to be featured in one of these, DM me on Discord. My tag is itspickles, hashtag 6242. There's no spaces. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into the history of Legend. The beginning. I first started my NitroTab account in 2019 during class because I was in class and I saw a bunch of kids playing it, so I decided to try it out. And I went up to them and asked what it was, and they told me that the game was called NitroType, which I searched it up and I created the account now known as Jufty. When I went to play, I was never in the computer. I was always in the computer lab, or I had free time. I would end up accumulating 1,000 races all time around the third month of my account creation. Keep in mind that I haven't been active yet. The beginning of the activity. So I started playing around April 2020. It was a great month in terms of activity for me. It was the first month where I did 1,000 plus races on my account, so it was a great term of accomplishment. I also broke my session record of 140 races at the time and raised it to 180. Around early May, my cousin would purchase me my first gold, which really motivated me, by the way, and I was playing on a Windows 7 at the time. I would hit 5,000 races during this month, in which I got gold. Less lag was really crucial on Windows 7. I would also join during this month NATAA. Also, a huge shout out to Blake G for accepting me, even though I wasn't a great player at the time. But this would all change as soon as we hit June 1st. Why? Because I got a huge upgrade from Windows 7 that needed an Ethernet cable to even have Wi-Fi. So I started producing more content because of Windows 10. With all this, I decided to join Discord, which I would meet some of my greatest friends and some of my greatest haters. With my Windows 10, my activity increased to me doing 200 races a day, with at least a 100 session or 200 session the entire time, or a 150 session. Sessioning. I started sessioning around early season 28 when I joined Syndicate. I became good buddies with Nana at the time, who was a top 10 player during the season. He would end up giving me a lot of tips during this time. In early season 28, the double tap strategy was still available for all players with gold or without gold. It was easy to do. For those who don't know, here's how it works. You would have to have a tab that has the regular nitrotype.com/race tab, and open a second one that hasn't fully loaded in yet. Then you would finish the race on a normal tab, then click enter on the page or Control R at the time, then go to the other tab to finish loading. That does the race and continue doing the same thing. By the way, this is not possible to do because NitroType servers load in faster when you're looking at the tab or not. I would do this for hours and hours until I started mastering it to beat my highest sessions. In June 2020, 200 races. This was without the strat and before I knew the strat. July 2020, 2020 session. I started implementing the strat. August 2020, 5,187 races, and this still stands today. Pure activity. So my main activity was during seasons 28, 33, 34, 38, and season 39, as of right now. I'll go through my activity between all these seasons. First, season 28. Even though I started the season late, I immediately wanted to get a top 300 spot, and I knew I wouldn't make it. So I waited and took the right moment to start doing 700 races a day. Then I bumped it up to 900 a day, and I kept going to 1.2k. That was the max at the time, and I wanted to break that barrier. So I brought some account shares along, and during this account sharing period, I met some people like Purple. This was a mistake of being in their class because they paused my account during season 28 because of me being so dumb to try to literal catfish his class, and that's on me. But during this time of account sharing, I would accumulate a total of 34,000 races for that season, and at the end of a 2-month season, I believe I performed well in my current endurance and typing, and my current knowledge of the game is one of the things that set me out from different grinders. Is that during Season 28, I studied the competitive side of the game. I learned a few glitches and used them to my advantage. My main competitors during this season were Nana, who placed right behind me, and I Love Swag 360. Swag was a botter, but he didn't tell me till the very end of the season, so I wasted a lot of time trying to beat him. But that was basically all that happened that was important during Season 28. By the way, Aiden should have won that season hands down. I ended that season off with 8th place and finished it with an overall 46k all-time races on the account, so I was pretty proud of that. Off season. During seasons 29 through 32, many things happened between these 3 seasons for me, losing my account, to getting the account's best, resetting at this point during this time. My account was the best and wasn't even set by me. It was set by one of my brothers. I wouldn't break it myself until literally yesterday, but my best got reset that day. Anyways, during season 29, I ranked 94th place, even though my account was stolen for 3 weeks up until this day. I still don't know who stole it, but nothing interesting happened this season, although in season 30, I would have finally left Nate after 2 seasons, and 35,000 races, I would end up leaving early season 30 to help out SSH because I met Mighty and Craze, and they were my best friends and still are. Because of them, I would end up accumulating a total of 50,000 races for SSH. I would stay on SSH until season 33, when I would go active. Season 32, sadly, was my last season with SSH, and afterward, I would become active soon enough. Season 33. I started the season with an average of 21 hours a day, and racing for the first week. 1,800 races were done a day, with an account sharing with 7 people at the time. And after the first week, I would join Dubsy's team, NTT, and I would stay there for a good week, and afterward, I went to Nate, and I stayed there for a whole month, and I spent the last weeks on TBZ. Before I was banned for botting, now I have some explaining to do. So I learned a few months ago that either Jeps did it or got banned from one of my IRL friends botting on my account during early season 27, and I haven't mentioned it to anyone, so this is something exclusive only your audience will know. But in terms of racing, I believe I did 60,000 races and 8 million points, second place for the season, and I think I had an average of 97 words per minute and 98.02 accuracy, and I had 125k by the end of the season. And by then, I had to create a mass of either friends or haters were on my DMs that day and every day. Season 34. So during this time at the beginning of the season, me and Whipped Cream were going back and forth for first place. At the beginning of the season, for a good 4 days, and the bots would pass us during the night, and we would pass them again during the morning, and top 3 would look like this. First, Legend, second, Whipped Cream, third, Cruiser, and this would stay for like this for the first few days, but afterwards, I realized this was beyond my activity, and I couldn't go on like this, so I decided I wanted to take down a team instead of a very powerful team like TBZ. I used to be an officer for TBZ, so for some people, it seemed like a betrayal to the TBZ members, because SSH had never rewarded me with anything, so why did I choose them? That was a good question. But now, I think I have the answer to that, and I think the reason I chose them was because most of my friends were there, and they had a pretty chill environment. And I figured out I would chill there, and they had good comps and very decent rewards for winning, and each competition was fair. And I think that was my season, that was my reason, but in teams-wise, it was looking like this. TBZ first, second ELV, third SSH. From the addition from me doing the season, SSH had a chance of winning, so we kept going. ELV would end up disbanding about 2 weeks during the season. ELV was catching up though, and I think they had a chance, but unfortunately they did disband, but we gained a lot of the main racers to join SSH. That was a major boost, and we started averaging 1.1 million points a day, while TBZ was averaging around 1 million points a day, but I think the reason SSH hadn't accomplished this goal yet I wasn't as active, and so I took it upon myself to doing 180,000 points every day. But it was worth it after a cruel 2 months of first place, of TBZ being on top. SSH finally overtook them, and I have to say Cardi was the main reason I would have such love for SSH. Acknowledgements. I want to say thank you to Cardi, Mighty, Craze, Mal, Voltile, The Destroyist, Tendons, Smoke, Heartless, Roger, Dark707, Dubsy, and Nelly. Thank you for each and one of you for making my Nitro Type career mean something to me, and I thank everyone who's helped me to get here, and special thanks to Nana and Purple. Love you and thank you. So yeah, that's basically the history of Legend. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.